Some studios are just special, and Parr Street Studios in Liverpool is definitely one of those. It's 25 years old this year, so we're here to have a look around and see what we can find. So this is the Neve Legend VR60 in Studio A in Parr Street, and it's an incredible desk. Interestingly enough, this desk was sold to the studio by our founder, Mike Banks, many years ago, 1991, I think. Anyway, it's a fantastic desk. It's rigged up to the plate. We've got plate reverb upstairs. Sounds amazing. 60 channels of pure Neve goodness. I just wanna be something that I can say is true. So these ATC SCM 25As were hired in for when Bieber was in a little while back. The studio fell in love with them, so much so they kept them and bought another pair for Studio B. So there are two Studer A827 tape machines, 24 track, 2-inch, with a clasp system. So they're in use apparently most days here. So it looks like digital hasn't completely taken over yet. So we're in the live room of Studio A now at this amazing Yamaha G1 Baby Grand. It's a bit more punchy than a full-size Grand, particularly for rock and pop tracks. So this is the piano that was used on the first 3 Coldplay albums, which were of course recorded here. And Chris Martin's left his mark underneath. So the live room is clad in Lancashire whetstone, which was quarried locally and retains a little bit more moisture than you would expect. So it's not quite as hard as you might expect from a studio that's clad, you know, half in stone. There's also this amazing stone room, which is great for reverbs, great for snare overdubs. You can even just open up these doors and stick a drum kit outside and get some fantastic sounds. I would say this is probably one of the most interesting rooms in any studio in the country. So as we go over into Amp World, we're surrounded by vintage Marshalls, Orange, Selmers, Watkins, Fender, Roland. There's even a Berman here, which is a favourite of James Skelly from the Coral. If you can't find what you need down here, there's even more amps upstairs in Studio B. All this time, so I'm here with studio owner, record producer and general recording guru, Chris Taylor. So Parr Street's 25 years old this year, isn't it?
It is, although the recording studios here started way before that. They were actually built out in Kirby, a suburb of Liverpool, in the 70s and started life as Amazon Studios. Amazon was quite a famous studio. They recorded a lot of the Black Sabbath albums there, some of the Smiths albums, and in fact some of the early Echo and the Bunnymen stuff as well.
Cool. So you're celebrating this year then?
Yeah, so the studios moved into Liverpool City Centre in the end of 1991, and the first sessions were kind of the beginning of 1992. So fast forward 25 years, and we're just trying to do something to mark the fact that we've been here for 25 years and we're still in existence and we've still got this fantastic big space in operation. I guess the thing for me is to try and celebrate the fact that we're still making records rather than perhaps all the history of the records that have been made here.
And there's some cool records come out this year.
Well, there's been some great records come out this year. I mean, we're particularly excited about the new Blossoms album. We're actually just in the middle of Blossoms 2, but we've worked with everyone this year, from Bewitched all the way through to Justin Bieber. You know, we're still kind of at the cutting edge, really. I like to think of the recording industry up here.
Why do you think that is? What draws people to this special studio?
I don't know. I mean, you know, the obvious answer is the gear, but I don't really think it's that. And the second answer might even just be the space. It's a lovely space to work in. We've got natural light, and I think that really draws people in. But I think more than that, it's the people. There's a lovely sense of mentoring within the studio. We've got loads of young bands coming through the ranks, and they're kind of being mentored by some of the older bands. And in particular, the guys from the Coral have been really generous with their time and have been really helping out. So James Skelly from the Coral was producing the Blossoms album. We've been working with She Drew the Gun, Cabbage. There's some really fantastic and exciting music coming through the studio at the moment.
Cool. And on that note, thanks for having us. It's been a really interesting tour, and hopefully we'll be back in the near future to see what Parr Street's doing in the next few years. Politicised citizens, more things, but we're not richer when we just reinforce conditioning, when possession is the ambition, the aim